You getting hot again?
No, I just don't want to be in the same top that I was in the last video.
Oh, were you in that one?
I was in this recently. I'm trying to rotate them out.
I got something to say. Everybody always asks where I get my hoodies. Can I just address that real quick? My hair.
From the hood!
This one is from Ross Dress for Less, so is the coral one that I had on the other day.
This video is for women only. Guys, you know.
They were from last season and Ross switches it up. What was the brand of this?
Chandler and Phoebe.co.
It's not that. What's it really?
Reflex.
Reflex. Okay, so it's from Ross. Everybody always asks about the black and gray hoodie. I got that one back when I had like a Litote subscription box. I think it was Litote. The other ones, I don't really know. Like the main ones I wear are from Ross, and then that one was from then. A couple were from Target a few years ago. Nothing is recent, other than these were from Ross last year. That's all. Okay, we can make the video now.
It's a video.
Tricked you.
Gotcha. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Cullen, this is my wife Katie, and we are here talking about all the things in life that we're going through. Thank you for tuning in. Had some fun, exciting videos this past week.
This week has been interesting.
Go check
it's
them
all
out.
different.
Yeah.
We had an Aldi haul. We had a call with Dave Ramsey.
The Ram Man himself.
I don't even remember what Monday's video was, but it's been a cool week. And tomorrow we have a Walmart grocery haul coming.
Yes.
We went ahead and bought all the groceries at the beginning of the month, and so you will see that haul tomorrow. So stay tuned for that.
Lots of good guesses on the total from the Aldi haul too. And
Aldi still blows my mind.
oh,
It's just amazing.
there's still so much I want to do there.
So much.
And I guess I'm not trying the sushi based on most of the comments.
Really? Were they bad?
Yeah.
I want to try the brownie batter now. The hummus brownie
Brownie
batter
batter.
sounds
Oh my
really
gosh.
random, but I want to try it now. With the Aldi haul and with all the comments, people were like, oh my gosh. First of all, people were like, how's that gonna last you a whole month? And then second of all, like, how are you meal planning with a budget? And I would love to hear some of the dinners you make or the things you cook. The first answer to that is like, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I don't know that it's gonna last the whole month. I hope.
We really haven't dipped into it.
No.
In the past 2 days, we've had leftover. Well, we did do the pork loin, but we ate dinner with that goulash.
Well, I had said we would need to buy new meat, and then we would need to buy new like lettuce and
I'm burping up burritos.
We may have to make another little like small trip, but as far as the big things, we try to do it for the month. As far as the meal planning question, I talked about this on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. And I'm actually about to save my story to a highlight. So like on my profile, there's a little circle. It'll say like dinners or something like that. But I had said, when somebody asked like, could you share some of the dinners you make? And I was like, when I commented back, I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. We don't really, like, I guess I started thinking about it and I was like, I mean, we do eat dinner every night. Like, what do we eat? Because we don't necessarily meal plan. I think when I think of meal planning, I think of something super intimidating and like it has to be super fancy. Like you have to have it all written out. This meat with this specific roasted potato, asparagus,
like one of those
crusted side dishes.
Over the headshot tasty videos that's like already got everything chopped up and like meal planned up. It is intimidating work.
Like that's just the word, that's what I think of. And then like a salad with crushed red pepper flakes and cranberries and croutons and all that stuff. So I think of it.
It's been like 6 o'clock most of the nights and we're like,
oh yeah, what are we eating for dinner?
And people have asked me about that too when I have been on like my weight loss journey and just like changing the way that I eat. Like, well, what do you eat? And I'd love to see your meals. And I'm like, but I don't know. I guess I think of myself as like, I honestly DJAF usually what I eat as long as it's food. I am very non-fancy with it. Cullen takes a hot minute to get his plate put together like
it could be the easiest thing, like a hot dog, but I'll have to like make a butterfly with the ketchup out of the center of the weenie or something, you know, like.
And not even for a picture, like that's just what he does. And I will literally like grab the hot dog and squirt some ketchup into a little thing and just dip it and be like, so I've eaten, are you gonna eat or what? So dinner is a very interesting thing for us, especially right now with like having showings and trying to sell our house. And obviously everybody's schedule is busy and crazy all the time in life. That's just part of life. It's been a little bit unpredictable. And so I used to be very good about meal planning. Back before we had kids, we did e-meals. I don't know if y'all have heard of e-meals, and this is not sponsored, but I do highly recommend it. it has come so far since I started using it in 2008.
I loved it because of the variety, not necessarily even variety as much as a twist on just a side makes it taste all different. I don't know.
Right. He's into the, and maybe that's why I feel intimidated, because I know that meals to you are important to be fancy.
They're not really. They don't have to be fancy. Like I ate leftover goulash.
I don't mean fancy. I just mean
had the best time of my life last night. But like,
make a difference with it. I could eat literally like spaghetti noodles with the exact same sauce every single night. And after a while, Cullen was like,
maybe should we try some different noodles with this same sauce or something?
And to him, like, that makes it better. And to me, I'm just like, oh, well, I've never thought of it. That's just how I eat it. And so it's nothing wrong with that. We're different people and we have different perceptions.
Well, that's why there's like subscription boxes and stuff that we used to, or we still will work with and have worked with in the past. Like there's always a different variety of monthly things. And I love that because it's like, it's stuff that's so easy, and just like emails, it's like, oh, why haven't I thought of that? Because it's just so easy just to get into this rut or this routine.
And that's kind of where we are.
Every Monday we do spaghetti. Every Tuesday we do tacos.
We didn't even do as fancy as tacos there for a minute. I mean, it was like survival mode, you know? And
she cooked that pork loin the other night, and I was like, yeah, we're eating out tonight.
I felt like I had made a gourmet meal, and all I did was cook the pork loin that was pre-marinated from the store. Like you cut it open, put it in the oven. I actually added a little extra barbecue sauce on top. I made rice, instant rice. It takes 5 minutes, and then I cut up some romaine.
In a salad?
And put a few sprinkles of shredded cheese and some almonds and some onion crusties. What are they called?
Fried onion.
Fried onion things on top. And I was like, this is like an actual meal put together. And I mean, obviously that's not that fancy, but emails, basically, I looked into it the other day and we're actually still subscribed, and I haven't used it in like 3 years, and I've just been paying for it this whole time, which the plan we have, I don't know all the prices, I don't know, but it's $15 every 3 months. So basically you're paying $5 a month, which is not a bad deal. I think you can pick how many days and for how many people. You can pick different plans, like there's a keto one, there's a low calorie, there's a kid friendly, there's a 30-minute dinners, there's a gourmet dinners, there's like all kinds of different stuff. Say for example, I think I would do 4 meals because we would have leftovers one night and then I'd cook like Monday through Thursday, and it gives you each of the little recipes, and then it gives you a grocery shopping list with the stuff separated by category of what items you need for that.
And doesn't it do sale items? Or it used to 12 years ago?
I don't know if that's the point of it still. I think it is. It picks the items that are on sale that week. Oh yeah, you get to pick your grocery store. I gotta look back into it, so I'm probably telling y'all all the wrong information. This is how it used to work. Maybe the week that salmon was on sale, you would have salmon for dinner. And so instead of spending your time having to look into what's on sale and when, you would use that. This video right here is an example of do as I say, not as I do, because I'm not currently doing this. That's my plan.
So basically they took, their concept was to take all of the guesswork out of meal planning for you. Emails, like easy meals, like, or economically friendly meals, I don't know, emails.
I think it's e-meals, like it's e-dash, like emails. Like they would send it to you in your email as online.
Okay. But so they would actually have people go to these stores and shop for the sale items that week and then create the menu that week.
And they have like the prices next to each item. I should probably have had something pulled up to show y'all. And I promise you, this is not a sponsored video. It certainly seems like it is. It's just a service that I felt very strongly about when I was using it.
It's our meal planning history.
And I'm excited.
Right? This is what we used to do,
And I would have in our garage apartment, we used to have like we painted, I think my sister, because they lived there before we did. There was like a painted chalkboard behind the stove. We could paint right there, the chalkboard back there.
We can even just hang one up. That's even,
we could. Cool. I would write the menu, and so I had I didn't even erase Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then every week I'd erase it and like put what we were having that week. And sometimes it was like hot dogs, chips, and baked beans. It wasn't that it was necessarily fancy as much as it was planned.
Exciting for me because I could be like, oh yeah, can't wait till Friday. We're having that chicken.
We're having this. Or if there was something that you're like, I don't want that, or can we switch that, or whatever. But it made you get a little bit more creative, and I'm working slowly on my brain and my like mental presence coming back into the world, because I think we've said this a few times, we've been literally like in the twilight zone for so many different reasons. So right now we're still kind of mixing things up. So I had said to this person that I commented back to, I was like, I literally just kind of look in the fridge and I'll make some ground beef, and then I'll decide if I want to mix it this night with like the goulash that I made a couple nights nights ago, which was like cream of mushroom soup, sour cream, and ground beef, and it's just like a
Stroganoff.
sauce, stroganoff type sauce. Or do I want to mix it with spaghetti sauce, or do I want to make Alfredo? You know, like I've got a couple of go-to things. I would just kind of throw those things together. So I said, you know, I've never wanted to post it because like it's not interesting to people. And then I started thinking like, okay, why would I not want to post what we eat for dinner every single night? And I thought, well, the reason in my head would be, well, I don't want people to judge me for like,
oh, that's not healthy. I can't believe you're feeding your kids that. Well, if you're on a budget, you shouldn't be eating that, or blah, blah, blah.
Like embarrassing to give them chicken nuggets 2 nights in a row.
Right, which they have them 5 nights in a row. Yeah, that's life. And then I was like, this is like a major thing that I'm working on in my life, is overcoming my fear and my issue with worrying too much about other people's opinions. Other people's opinions are honestly none of my business when it comes to my family. If somebody has some suggestion like, oh crap, don't feed your baby honey because they're gonna die and it's not good for them, then that's one thing. But if it's like,
well, I can't believe y'all are having bananas,
that's fine, and you're welcome to that opinion, but it shouldn't affect what I'm doing. And so I thought, I guarantee you, in the world, I feel like everybody else has fancy dinners, and I know that y'all don't, but I feel like that. And so I just thought, would it be helpful to other people to see, even if it's a hot mess of like, I posted the first one last night, I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do this every night. I'm going to share with y'all on my Insta stories what we have for dinner every night. Listen, we did target bowling for a year. We did target bowling for a year.
You're doing your 365 gratitude.
But here's the thing.
And now you're gonna do dinners?
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing is, that's why I've thought, that same reaction is why I've thought, like, I can't do that. We have so much going on. But then I seriously was sitting here going, we literally eat every night.
Yeah.
It may not be pretty, and it may be something very unhealthy, or it may be something random, but we literally have to eat. What's my fear of showing people what it is? And literally it's other people's opinions, which are none of my business.
Yeah, right.
So why does it matter? Like, kind of like with the gratitude not perfection post. I don't want it to have to be fancy. Like last night I was like, here's our refrigerator, it's messy, and there's crap in here that's spilled, and we're gonna have this leftovers and this leftovers and this, and here's what it is. And there's gonna be nothing fancy, pressure for it to be fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in the past I've been like, well, our kitchen's always a mess, and there's food everywhere and the kids are fighting, but
anytime I do a boomerang of my plate or something, I have to like get everything out of the viewfinder sight, make sure the lighting's good, and yeah, and then come back over here and eat, and I'm just sitting next to like trash bags and like got my bib instead of, but on the internet it looks like,
But I think that's what's wrong with everything.
That is what's wrong with everything.
That people feel like the presentation you put out is of how fancy it is, and I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that either. I think if you think about like when you send your kids to school for picture day, they may go to school every day with their hair not brushed and with their shirt on backwards and whatever else, but when it's picture day, you're like, oh, we're gonna have this picture forever, I want you to look nice.
Yeah.
So you're gonna brush their hair. And it's not because you want everybody just to think that your kid's great, because clearly they see your kid all unbrushed every other day. It's just that when you present something, you want it to look nice. I feel like that's actually hurting society by only seeing the pretty side of things. So there may be nights where it's real pretty and nice and put together. 95% of them, it's gonna be random, because last night we all ate something different.
Yeah, well, and a good example of that is last night you went and got, whoa, I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay, give them a little preview.
Brooks needs some new tennis shoes, and you had two options to choose from. Second option, the one that we actually went with, is one 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, we'd have been like, no, that's just kind of like, not what I want. Yesterday, you're like, he's only gonna be 3 once. It's like, yes, get it. I literally changed my perspective when you said that, and I'm like, he was the most excited he's ever been.
He was so excited.
He was so excited when he got these new shoes yesterday. So,
and I think my perception of that too is that you kind of, as a person, I think you probably grow up with a lot of the perceptions and opinions that your parents had or that you grew up around. And so to me, shoes that I bought for him are something that as a kid we didn't ever have, because they don't look the nicest, I guess. But at this point in life, to me, it's more about like him being happy with something and feeling good and happy about wearing it, as opposed to like, what's it matter what he looks like? He's not going up on stage at like a fashion show right now.
Right.
Even if he was, I don't even care. I don't know. I think my perception has just changed so much about all of this.
Even the dress gains picked later in this video that you'll see in just a few minutes. That's kind of a good segue, I guess. If there's anything
Sorry,
else.
I've been rambling about this. I just feel really strongly about it all of a sudden.
Yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Unless there's anything else you'll say about meal planning.
No, I was just gonna say, y'all just follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna be posting it. I'm kind of like, I'm challenging myself to post it every single night. I'm gonna
well,
try
I think
dinner.
that will increase your meal planning as well, because you will start to want to make it a little, I don't know, it's kind of like with target bowling. I started off by just doing a selfie, but then as the year went on, I was like getting like all the employees and costumes and, you know, so maybe your meal planning will start to increase.
I always enjoyed meal planning.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm trying to force myself to do something that isn't in my nature, but I think it's giving myself grace on the fact that 95% of it is gonna be some random stuff. But then when I do have something nice, y'all will see that, but you won't be like,
Oh my gosh, she always makes fancy dinners.
no, you will have seen that the other ones are not. So
Y'all leave a comment if y'all have any
window.
tips or tricks on meal planning to make it easier. I know there are some subscriptions like maybe called Yummy. I don't remember what it's called, but they've got the ones for kids that are strictly for kids to get the kids to eat more variety.
I'm gonna get you to start posting breakfasts.
I do that
every day. You should. You've been into actually making cool breakfasts lately. I'm just gonna not care if it's a mess or if a kid's getting yelled at in the background. It's
drives
fine.
me crazy when she cooks, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't even get me on that
Yeah, I'll show y'all.
macaroni box, because
Maybe that's why I don't
there's
cook. 'Cause I always
literally
get
a macaroni box. Anywhere you turn, whenever she cooks, she leaves everything out. Dash of salt, throw it over her shoulder. Give me pepper, throw it over her back. And then you turn around, there's just like ingredients of bottles and empty cans all over the counter. I'm
It's
like,
actually true.
how do you even focus?
She walks in and is like,
I go behind her,
what
like,
can
I like grab the can, I wash it out, and I throw it in the trash.
And so many times I'm like, hey, wait, where did I was saving the last little bit of that cream and mushroom soup to stir in at the end. He's like, I cleaned it up, I picked it up. It's fun, we all do things differently, and I think that's the cool thing about life.
As you go.
Is seeing how people drive each other crazy.
Getting back to the daddy-daughter dance, the dress that Gaines picked out was one, again, a year ago. I actually picked it out for her as like a novelty item or like a fun item for her birthday.
So last year I bought her a dress. If you watched our February budget comparison of 2019 to 2020, I bought her a dress for $46. It's one of those, you scroll through Instagram and you see all of the people with the pretty dresses, and it was an Instagram ad that kept popping up, and I ordered it because I was like, this is gonna be so beautiful for the daddy-daughter dance. And she did love it.
I remember you were like stressed out about the delivery getting here in time.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna come in time because it was coming from China.
Fit?
Was it gonna fit?
Yeah.
And it was just because
added stress and money.
Gotten sucked into the way it was presented on the website of like how beautiful it looked, and it was one of those where it twirls, so she was excited about that. But you know, it was displayed in the pictures twirling, and then you get it and it's just a dress that hangs, which it was still pretty, but seeing her confidence in the dress that she picked out this year.
Oh my goodness, look at your glitter hair. Holy cow.
This is what she picked to wear.
This is amazing.
It has a little cape.
I love it. That is absolutely gorgeous.
So this year we went to get something out of her closet. So I was like, you have dresses, and she was like, or we could buy something. And I was like, well, let's see what we have first. You know, I didn't want to be like, no, we don't have money for that. It's kind of back to the thing of like, you're only 5 once. Like, appreciate the fact that she wants to wear something like that.
It's also the thought of like, I got it thinking she would wear it in dress up mode every day. And so when she picked it out, it was like she saw it as a different, more special, pretty, elegant dress when she first saw it instead of a dress up dress. It was special that, I thought it was special that she thought of it as like, oh, this is my gown to go to the daddy-daughter dance in versus a costume that I'm gonna wear around the house.
Introducing Queen Elsa of Arendelle. You can look down.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That is so pretty.
Isn't it so pretty? Look at that.
Queen Elsa.
And all I needed my food.
Last year I spent, oh God, I bought her like a necklace, sterling silver.
That necklace was $50.
Was it really?
I'm pretty sure. I feel like
it was from Kohl's, I think, and I actually had the lady like sit there giving me different, like...
You were sending me pictures going, which one?
Yes, I remember that. It was like such a... And she doesn't, oh my
But you're a gifts guy, like your love language is gifts, and
it goes back to the whole like comparing your monthly statements and like it's just irritating or aggravating to go back and watch or put yourself back in the past and see yourself like thinking that way versus this year.
Well, it's interesting
totally
when
different.
I was listening to y'all's podcast today, your Don't Tell Mom podcast, which they talked to a lady about budgeting and finances and all that. It's really good. Go listen to it.
Yes, it's very good.
But y'all were talking about the whole like I was just living my life and spending money and not worrying about like where my money was going. You couldn't beat yourself up for that, but you were making the point of like you have to get to the point where you're pissed off about it. But I think also the hard part of looking back at it is realizing now that like you thought that's what you needed in order to like make her happy. It wasn't even so much the presentation to anybody else or keeping up with anybody else. It's just that like in your mind that meant love. Buying this $50 necklace. She was 4 at the time, she's 5 now. Did you need all the things that you spent all that money on for happiness? And we can tell you firsthand, no, because the times when we were spending the most money, when we were making the most money and spending the most money, we were, I wouldn't say the least happy. I mean, it's fun to buy stuff. That's not the only thing you need to make you happy.
In her case, it goes to the whole like metaphor of like you spend all this money on a toy and they play with the box.
What was she the most excited about? Which she would have still been excited without them, but she did get some new shoes. They were like $9 shoes from Walmart.
So I went the night before and picked her out some shoes and some thing of flowers that I was like 100% certain that she would love, and goes to show you again, like she didn't really even care for the flowers.
And it wasn't that she was like rude about it, she was kind of like, okay. Spider-Man of the Spider-Man show!
Whoa, nice job!
All right.
Your Queen Arendelle Elsa sparkly shoes.
It has a balloon attached to it.
Yes.
It's pink.
Yes.
Balloons, always the favorite thing.
And those are your queen flowers.
Yay!
Our daddy-daughter date night. I hope these fit, Elsa.
Do you like the shoes?
Yeah.
You think they're pretty?
Yeah.
Good, let's see if they fit. No, take your socks off. And for Spider-Man of the Spider-Man show, whoa, careful, Spider-Man. You got a little surprise and a little balloon too. For kids, it's hit or miss. Like one day they may be so super stoked about the flowers. The most important thing and the thing that meant the most to her was spending time with her. Even if she hadn't gotten the new shoes too. Like that was also not totally necessary, except the fact that she's outgrowing her like Sunday shoes. But you could have not bought her anything, and the time spent with you was the most important to her. And then the things that I think she actually ended up loving the most from the night were the freaking free balloons.
Bouncy balls and
the bouncy balls and balloons that they gave out at the dance that were part of the like the decor. It's interesting seeing your perspective change, and obviously zero judgment on anybody who wants to buy their kid the $50 dress from Instagram or the $50 necklace or whatever. That's fine. Whatever. It's no big deal.
It's mindset.
It's just we're just talking about our own personal views on how things have changed and how it's actually made us appreciate more the fact that it's not the things. The things do sometimes have meaning or are important to us. Just like we were talking about the shoes with Brooks. Like it felt good to see him so happy about it, but it didn't matter what it looked like to anybody else. It didn't matter what anybody else was gonna think about the shoes that he was wearing. Is that he loved them and they made him happy.
And the time we had to spend with him, watching him run back and forth and watching him jump up as high as he could and stuff, was more valuable than the shoes themselves. Time is the one thing you can't get back in life. The time you just spent watching this video, you can't get that back.
Sorry.
But you, hopefully you got some good value out of it. You can't buy time with money, and you know, you can buy things with money, and it's a whole different perspective.
Kind of along those lines too, I saw somebody post a quote that said, I posted it in my story, stop being jealous of people who are in their winning season because you don't know what they lost in their losing season. So it's kind of like when you're looking at people who are going on all these fancy trips and buying a big fancy house and all this stuff, you may not even realize that that's actually their losing season. Like they're presenting it as it's such a great, wonderful time. But you could also take it the other way, you know, and the people who have like overcome so much, and maybe somebody who's been trying to have kids for 7 years and they finally have a kid and you're like, oh, I'm so jealous they had a kid. Well, you don't know what they went through for the 7 years.
Speaking of seasons of life, we had a very memorable season of life come to an end. That sounds weird or bad.
Say we have a new season of life
A new season of life, yes. One chapter ended. And
one chapter is closing and the next one is opening.
New chapter is opening, yes. We're on chapter 6.
We're not, your mom is.
Of this novel that we've been reading.
I don't know when through
Granberry's life. So congratulations, Mom, for 27 years.
She's retired.
I guess we're on chapter 28.
Yeah.
She retired from her school administrator position, and there were people on my Instagram post that I've been friends with since 4th grade. And one of the girls even commented, I was like, I remember when she was my science teacher in 4th grade. That's just insane.
I just keep thinking, I'm like, how is she retired? retiring, like she's not old. You know, as a kid, you think of people that retire as being like old people, but she's not old. Like it's just crazy that it's time for her to retire.
Oh, I'm just so excited for it.
I am
because
too.
she literally, I don't know how teachers do it out there. I don't know how people in the school systems do it, because she was literally on call all the time. She was up at 5 a.m., didn't get home till 7 p.m., and then would come over and film a video for her old show on Baby League on YouTube, try to make time for the grandkids and then us and then everything else. It was just like non-stop.
I mean, not to mention the first chapter, like 2B, she was raising 4 kids on top of dealing with all the kids at the school and everything else.
Anybody that was under her at any of those schools had no chance with us being her kids, because she has already seen it all. She would come in and telling us these stories about like they're trying to hide these drugs and I've already seen that before in my house.
You're not gonna get away with nothing.
And as soon as she would start telling it, I'm like, oh yeah, well you know that story, Mom. You know what they did there. And she's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Freaking retired.
Retired,
So,
like actually retired. She had texted everybody like what, a couple weeks ago and said, hey, I'm retiring like in a couple months, and then we didn't even realize that she had some like time off and stuff that she cashed in on at the end. So she actually left before the time that she'd originally told us, and so we didn't realize it was actually coming up.
She pulled the old on everybody, because
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna retire here, but then she's like, oh, but wait, there's
I got some
more.
time off.
Let me just pull this out of my pocket. Bow!
So we got a message saying like, hey, in 2 days, can y'all be at the school at 7:30 a.m. to do this retirement party? And we were like, is this a joke?
Oh, we're getting the boot to go back. We're getting in trouble. Oh, there's a school bus trying to pull out.
So we're here this morning for a very exciting event. It's a very exciting event for Granbury.
She is having a retirement party at her school, or a retirement surprise.
Maybe like a surprise assembly. She doesn't know about it. She is getting to retire, and that is so exciting. She's been working so hard all of her life. We're blocking people in. Yep, there was a lady going, get out the way. We're messing up the whole system of the school
They think there's like 5 grown women trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
They're like, why are these people coming in here? Let's hope this surprise gets pulled off.
It is, did we say what time it is? 7:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
Our alarm didn't go off? Surely that she was behind it in some form or fashion, like coordinating it all, because she was one of the principals and like one of the higher ups and knew everything in this system and everything. And she was completely shocked. Oh my goodness, there's the other little surprise. So they told Granbury that we're going into the gym for an assembly about how to behave during something. Stay with us, buddy. Alright, so we just sit right here. I keep thinking Granbury's gonna walk in. Ah! So that lady right there is going to get Granbury and tell her that she needs her approval and help on setting up the gym. Oh, they got a cookie cake. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what's happening? What's happening? Ah! Ah! This is a lot of stimulation for this early in the morning. You even said if it's Granbury, she's probably figured it out by now with even 2 days.
Yeah, I was like, she has to know.
But
Like, she has to know.
what's going on? What's happening?
This is her last year as principal. So we are all in here. Wait a minute.
Everybody's like, hell yeah.
We are all in here to celebrate her over 20 years as an educator. She comes in, I need everybody to give a big round of applause. First of all, her family is here. She has her children, her grandkids, her best friends, and a lot of the co-workers that she's worked with for over the last 20 years. She is now in the next chapter of her life, and she's going to travel the world and enjoy her family. One day, you'll be walking those same footsteps, okay? Everybody on your feet. And let's celebrate.
Oh! Yeah! so surprised. Come over here, Mama. Woo, 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 woo. Congratulations! Congratulations! Love you too. That was sweet. Woo-hoo! We got her! We got her! We got her!
You can obviously tell I was very, very surprised. Oh, I don't know if I can get through this. I want you each to know how important you are. I thought that I was going to open the Black History program today. Brooks, that's my grandson.
He's over spinning on the floor.
I have beautiful children who have grown into beautiful adults. And I can tell you, and I have used my children as examples to many of you who have come to my office for whatever reason throughout the years. My son Cullen, he pulled the fire alarm at Hoover High School when he was in the 11th grade.
Who? Who? Yeah.
His beautiful wife Katie and my beautiful granddaughter Gaines. My beautiful youngest daughter Brittany and my youngest granddaughter at the moment, Miss Sophia. I have a daughter who is traveling the world right now. She is in Vietnam. She is traveling in the Cambodia, Vietnam area. And I encourage each of you to find whatever it is that is your passion in life.
Yeah, like I said, completely shocked. Her last freaking day, she's gonna spend it with
what's
her,
she gonna do now?
like some of her best friends throughout the history of her school tenure, and then the kids in the school. And what's she gonna do now? She's sat in her pajamas all day the next day, drinking a cup of coffee, and I was like, hey to the men.
I know. She gets to do whatever she wants now. So it's very exciting for her. And I know she's got some plans. She's not just gonna be sitting around in her pajamas every day, I can guarantee you.
She can't stay still.
She's not gonna be doing that. She might, and if she does, then good for her. I'll go leave her some love and congrats.
Congrats, Granberry. Hope y'all enjoyed today's video. It was kind of all over the place, from meal planning to daddy-daughter dance to retirements.
We just kind of had a few things we want to talk about. So there it is. And tomorrow will be the Walmart haul of the rest of the stuff that we bought for the rest of the month.
I can't wait for y'all to see that and leave your guesses on those amounts. We need to start saving for retirement. All right.
Yeah, that's a whole different video.
That is a whole different video. All right, kids, get back to class. Where's your hall pass? We'll see y'all in the next video. CYO, TFS.
Catch you on the side. Have a great Thursday. Bye.
Adios.